Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into this video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like or comment on my video, consider subscribing to my channel, and if you dislike the content, please leave a comment saying where it has gone wrong. So this is going to be my standard patch notes and weekly maintenance discussion. So this week is a big maintenance one we've all been looking forward to. I have read through the notes before, so let's get into it as soon as it pops up. Number one, they have added the SP skill reset function. Okay, as you can see, there's it first on the list. There is the skill reallocation I've been talking about in my videos so far this week. Number two, protection will now last 60 seconds when leaving a station. That means that a player can leave a station and changing direction doesn't take this year off. They can leave a station the moment they lock or start fighting, their protection will wear off. So this allows a player to get out of a station. It means that spawn camping a person isn't going to work properly. They can now move out in their sector, help form up a beachhead and fight. That means my previous strategy for overwhelming is now going to be even harder to handle, because if you have a setup factory, all you've got to do is just keep launching an attack from inside, and eventually you will break a camp. Okay. Fixed an issue where delivery containers cannot be removed from your ship's inventory into the station. Guests are required to link before joining corporations. When a guest jettisons cargo, it takes 2 hours before it can be picked up by someone else. Improve the loading speed for ships. Uh, Tier 6 or alpha players can no longer start planetary mining in areas with security level lower than 0.5. Improved rendering efficiency. Guest account can only create one character for security purposes. Improve the damage number when the ships are hit. Added basic recommended fittings for all ships. Autopilot notice added to planetary mining in high sec areas. Changes have been made to some entries in Concord Guide to New Eden. Added notification for oversized cargo when requesting shipping containers. The description signifying that skill effect do not stack has now been moved to the top of tips. The skill training queue now shows the overall training speed. Fix the issue with the direction of the jump effect when using stargates. The create corporation using mortgage feature is now removed, so that means you can't start a corp without having it paid up front. Appeal function added, deal with unsatisfactory tickets. You can apply ticket numbers and reason for setting customer service, bug report, submit new, and then they will redo your uh, ticket. Okay. What sell now order function added? It will not charge fee uh, intermediary, and unsuccessful match will return the item. You cannot place a development array from guest account. It can only be launched after binding the account. Okay, fixes. Fix the issue with irregular data when closing fitting screen. Fix the issue with resource extraction caused by shutting down the server. Fixed an issue where object location in clients were not displayed in sync with the server. Okay, so let's go over all of this at once. So number one on this list, there are no buffs and debuffs added to this list of patches. So it might be changing. They might be modifying how they intend to buff and nerf and everything to those weapons. They may try to balance it a little bit more. They may just give us exactly what's coming. They may have double checked their response on the player ground and decided to see what their stats were, seeing who has more weapons, so that they don't impact the game negatively. That's a strong possibility on why we didn't receive any word of nerf coming out on medium missiles today. It might also come out at a later time, and they may improve it so that it's a little bit more user friendly, so that the players don't get too upset. They must probably realize that they're the most expensive and most dominant weapons, so they didn't want to upset the bases. Okay, so the skill reallocation or the reset function. Now, when you reset the skill, it's going to cost you plex. The bigger the skill, the more plex it's going to cost you. So you take out all of your unnecessary skills and you put it into a new function. Now, on average, you're going to have to keep something near 1,000 plex on yourself if you intend to reallocate. That's because moving functional SP from one function to the next is going to get you up faster. You can learn quicker skills with your regular learning speed and use that massive boost to speed up the slow skills. So once you reach level 4 and level 5, uh, easiest way to just boost it up is to reallocate something you're not using. One of the best ways is for anybody who learned both sides of the functions, go straight into your industry, remove all the skills that you can, remove all your skills from ships you won't use, and dump it all into one ship category or into whatever you are using. So if you are a mining major and you had a ton of skills thrown into missiles or weapons, you can go and take it all out and make yourself the perfect miner. It is now an opportunity for you to do that there, and you'll be able to move up in terms of reprocessing and processing. All of this will go to your benefit, and it will make you a far better player in terms of the long term of the game. Okay, now moving on, the protection that they've now added. Now, when you leave a station, you had protection for a few seconds, and in that time when you were in protection, you couldn't even activate a warp drive because the moment you planned your direction or started changing direction, your protection wore off and everybody targeted you and they destroyed you. But now with this new feature, what you can do is you can just go out with maximum thrust and get into their beachhead. So if you have something like a cyclone, they can't hit you till you're in the middle of it. You hit auto lock on the closest targets and you open wildfire on them. You're going to destroy most of the gate camps because they do use the glass pearls. And 60 seconds with that speed may not be enough to catch most of them, but it is going to give you a way to line up and get ready to fire properly. Okay, moving on. The delivery container story, I didn't know about that. I thought that they had fixed that there previously, but looks like it was still going. Guest accounts, basically, they're trying to stop people from using unregistered alts. Now, a lot of players do this here where they have like 5 and 6 alts, and that is to speed up their progression through the game. Those players generally do about a billion a week, or maybe 2 or 3 billion a week if they're better players. And that there is a little bit of an unfair advantage. Now, to prevent it from impacting the game any further, they have added in this feature to block them from doing this. They've also blocked them from jettisoning cargo because you use it to speed up your mission completions, and all of this has been removed from them. Now, the alpha clone and the guest players not being able to planetary mine in zero point 0.5 or lower security sectors is twofold. It is to make sure that players run with omega clones, and it is also to make sure that players are at the right level of the game. Anybody who is right now just in level 6 is below the average player progression speed, and you are now going to be falling behind really heavy. So once everybody starts breaking the level 8 boundary, because if I'm correct, a lot of people have dropped into the under 1000 hours to go, and once that is done, it's going to make a big difference in terms of gameplay. Okay, moving on. Secondary mining. Okay, the improved rendering efficiency. So what this is actually going to do for you is it's going to mean that when you get into an area, everything is going to start to show properly. Unlike the players who are getting constantly stuck in gates, such as myself, it's more or less a rendering issue that's getting me stuck in a gate. I appear stuck in a gate and I can't be attacked. Now, the reason why I can't be attacked is technically it's disconnected me from the game, but it's purely because I haven't rendered the screen of where I am, or because the rendering is slightly behind. So, improving that rendering efficiency will mean any device that requests the information fast enough, if I overload my screen by opening a second menu over my ship display while I'm warping, it generally will result in me not rendering in the area and ending up stuck in a gate. So that's how it generally goes. Okay, let's go. The autopilot for planetary mining in high-sec areas, I didn't even cover it. I don't really see what that changes. Uh, okay, there's new entries in the Concord guide. Okay, that is self-explanatory. Okay, so a lot of players didn't understand this. Now, when you start learning your skills, you told that you're first learning 5%, 25%, 45%, and right at the bottom of all the skills, it told you that the skills do not stack. You only earn the skills for your level. Now, I do understand that a lot of players were getting upset about it because it is basically charging you more and more for less and less of an improvement. And with all of this, the only thing that was needed to be done was they needed to move that notice to the top. And once they had done it, it's something that you will notice the moment you start going at your skill improvement. So that's what they have done, and that's how it is going to affect it. Fix the issue with the direction of the jump effect when using stargates. Okay, so when people were using the stargates, I'm not sure if I'm right on this one here. When you enter the Stargate and you're entering in from an angle, sometimes your camera was stuck in one angle and you couldn't move it until you reach the next Stargate. I'm not sure if this is it or if it's something else, but I suspect that's it. The Create Corporation using mortgage feature is now removed. So originally you could start a corporation and pay it off over time. Now you have to forward pay because we have reached mid game basically. And once you're in the mid game, things change inside the game a lot at a frequent pace. Considering that we haven't yet opened out all the ships, they might introduce some changes to when the ships open. So battleships, they might move the ability to research it down because of their current reallocations. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Okay. Sell now order function added. So if you have something up and let's say for example there is a request for it on the station, you can sell now directly to that sell now. You don't have to go and open and acquire a sale at the recommended price. You can choose one of the sales and sell now directly to them. It will go through directly to that sale and it will be done. And if it's unsuccessful, it will immediately return the item to you. Okay, the usage of guest accounts, as I was saying, has been something which people have been abusing. And with this new patch, they're trying to remove all of the abilities that people have been using to abuse the guest accounts. Now, it's also being implemented to stop bots. Now, a lot of players don't know this here, but the botted players are literally using guest to benefit main account. So they use a ton of botted accounts to farm up massive mining areas. They use a ton of botted accounts to help overwhelm you in combat, and that's how they are winning battles. Now you get one or two of these players, and it is absolutely unreal how effective their strategies have been. When they use this here, basically they just have to click once on what they're targeting, and all the bots instantly move towards it. Now things like that have been removed, and they have some fixes added here at the bottom. Irregular data when closing the fitting screen. Now I don't know what they mean by irregular data. I know that the fitting screen hasn't been displaying correct information, so maybe that's what they fixed. It's a possibility. When they start up the maintenance, it looks like it was giving them problems with resource extraction. I think maybe it was stopping ships from picking up resources or removing the resources from the ship or something along those lines, or giving the ship all the resources in the area. Whatever it was, now it has been removed. Okay. Fixed an issue where object location in clients were not displayed in sync with the server. Okay, so in some instances you weren't getting the right data on where objects were, and when you looked at your location and where the objects were, the scaling of the environment and everything wasn't matching up. That's because you were out of sync, and the objects were actually floating around and moving around for you basically while you're looking at them. And they've now fixed that problem. I know about this here. I saw two boxes right next to each other, but they were 25 k's away from each other, even though when you look at it from the display at the distance, or when you start zooming in, one and two are right next to each other. If you look in from the outer angle and you turn the screen, the two look right next to each other. When you're moving away, you can see them together, but when you go to them, they're in two different locations and they can be quite a distance apart. It is confusing. It is something that is causing a problem because when you're cleaning up an area, when you're picking up all your loot from a mission, you want to be able to move to the center quickly instead of moving from the center to the outside, from the center to the outside. So you use your scope to choose where you're picking up loot. Okay, so that's about it. Now I am very happy with this update. This is the type of updates we need regularly for the 2 hour maintenance. And once more, the game developers have impressed me. I have to admit, I'm impressed with the game patch update, and this is going to change up the game and the way we're playing it for the next few months. Hopefully, these patches will continue to move forward and they will start to pull out more and more of the glitches. And I also hope that they reconsider those nerfs and patches. I hope that they explain their nerf of the missile launches before they try to implement it, because they don't want an angry mob of players just jumping off the game. Because thing that they should definitely do, reveal it, infer exactly what's coming out at least 2 weeks before they try to implement. That will give them a good idea on whether the players are going to revolt against them. And remember, a player revolt in this sense in this game will be a ton of complaints on one day and a ton of quits in the next day. And that is something you don't want to have to go through. Me being one of the players in this community, I don't want to see the PvP sector disappear altogether, because that will affect my PvP gains from selling equipment. I know it's a bit greedy, but that's the fact behind it. That's how it's going to affect me directly, and it will affect multiple players all at once if patches introduced incorrectly. Now, I hope that this year has been informative. The other things which were in this year that didn't really make much of a difference, I'm not really going to go into too much of a detail with it. And I am really happy that the skill reallocation is coming in. As I said, anything that you haven't mastered or anything that you're not going to master in the future, you just take out all those skills from it with a nice reset bundle. You pull out whatever skills you need to. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a complete reset or resetting skills as you wish, but you pull it out and you just reset everything within it, learn it all, master it, and you're going to have a brand new set of skills. You're going to be a master of whichever type of ship you want to go into, whichever type of aspects you want to go into. Now, I suggest holding on to quite a bit of Plex when it comes to the next few weeks. This is going to skyrocket the price of Plex. I expect an increase to about 750,000 per Plex by the end of the week. That is a good estimate on where it should go, and a lot of players have been buying up Plex like mad already. That's because everybody realized the hike has started. And once this is introduced, Plex is no longer just going to be a minor commodity. Pay to win players will be able to use it to get into the game quite easy and start catching up with the hardcore players. And that is definitely a good thing. It means that we're going to get a bigger community, and the pay to win community is going to feel more secure with the game. That means the developers are going to feel better about the game, and it means the game is going to grow bigger and bigger moving forward. I hope that this is the way in which we progress, and that's going to be about it. I am hoping to reach 250 subscribers by the end of this month. Um, Not this month exactly. I mean, like on the third month of the gameplay, basically. At the third month of the gameplay, I'm hoping that I'm at 250 subscribers. I'm hoping you, as the community who are watching these videos, help me out. And I'm putting it in a nice little update from me at the end of the entire video. Also, there is a Teespring store link in the description down below, and it is there for you to choose to support me if you wish. If you don't want to, it's not a stress. It's just there for anybody who does want to go through with it. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.